Welcome, Royal Family. This is a political commentary, and it is, I'm calling it Midterm Madness Fraud. That's right, Midterm Madness Fraud. First, let me start by putting my information on the board. My GoFundMe page has been up and running. I think a couple of weeks ago, I didn't have the right banking information on there. So if you've gone there in the last 2 weeks to donate, the right information wasn't on there. I think the money got held up or whatever, but I just fixed it the other day, and I'm assured everything is good. It is GoFundMe.com, PRB Ministry, the way it's written on the bottom of this slide, so I can use any of the support you would offer me. And also, I realize I do not sell, and you realize I do not sell anything on this page. This is strictly my opinion, my intellectual property, so to speak, my own research. I do ask for support in all kinds of realms, that with sharing, sending me positive emails, yes, financial support. But it is just support, and it is giving freely. It's called Grace Giving, and that I do ask of all of you folks and get these messages out there. So, again, my personal opinion, my personal study, my personal intellectual property, and I am not selling anything on this channel, so I should not be flagged for anything. But I can put my opinion out there for the sake of entertainment. How's that? Let's take a look at some things. We got California wildfires going nuts again. I can tell you right now, I've looked into this. California, those wildfires in that area in California, the uptick is incredible. How many have occurred in the past year or so, in the past actually year and a half, 2 years. And it's always right around the time when something else is going on. Now, I'm also finding out, I don't have all the information yet, but I'm also finding out that it's possible that several of these were set on purpose. That's what it looks like. We'll find out more information as we go. We had the California shooting. I want to keep those folks in prayer. And as we close this out today, this little commentary, I will probably say a prayer for those folks out there. I just want you to keep an eye on everything. Midterm madness. What we had is voter fraud. Absolutely voter fraud. I'm certain of it, personally for myself, whether it was Arizona or Florida. And speaking of Florida, Broward County area has been dirty and corrupt for years, and there's problems right there. There's boxes with ballots in them that a Democrat got caught with the other day. We know Debbie Wasserman Schultz is from that area. We know Sheriff Israel is from that area, Parkland shooting. There's just a lot of corruption going on there, and it is voter fraud, folks, and we need to speak out on these things. We need to keep track and not just brush it under the rug of history, much like that bomber, that pipe bomber that all of a sudden just disappeared like the Vegas shooting and got brushed under the rug of history. Now, those packages went out. Now, one of them went off. The gentleman was, as always, all these lone nuts are, very weak-minded, mental issues, is on the radar. Everybody knew about him. It's a very interesting fact with him and several other people. Every time something happens like this, a lot of them, and this gentleman in particular, his whole internet footprint has been scrubbed, professionally scrubbed. Now, it takes an agency to do that. You can't find that much about this guy beyond 2016. All of a sudden, he pops up on the internet. This guy's in his late 50s. Pops up on the internet, and he goes to 1 or 2 Trump rallies in 2016 or 17, has a couple of photos there. Prior to that, though, there has been somebody online that has shown and I guess got some freeze frames of this guy's former websites, whether it was Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And guess what? He's a big Obama and Hillary Clinton type of person. Now, magically, in 2016, everything got scrubbed, and all of a sudden, 2016, 2017, he's magically a Trump supporter. I just find that very interesting. I need to do a little more research on that, but yeah, he was scrubbed. And prior to 2016, if you go back to 2012 or 10 or 8, this gentleman was much more of a Obama supporter, Hillary Clinton supporter. I find that very interesting. Just like the Las Vegas shooting, how quickly it disappeared, and we don't have the answers. With this gentleman, there were packages sent out. Now, one of them went off. Some of them actually looked like, and there was some experts that I heard online, not me, experts, that said they looked like prop bombs. Okay, prop bombs. And some of the packages did not have postmarks on them, which means they did not go through the mail. They were hand-delivered. So one man with mental illness out of the back of his van did all this in the course of, a week or a couple of days? And how magically and quickly they caught him. Knew right where to go. And guess what he had on his van? 1 or 2 bumper stickers? No. Plastered with Trump bumper stickers and Trump signs. I'm just saying. People need to put 2 and 2 together. The 3 women that came forward to accuse Judge Kavanaugh, 2 of them in recent weeks have been found to not only be liars, but they're going to have charges pressed against them for perjury and fraud and slander. Two of them, and the other one being Ford that came forward. I already explained to you she has CIA connections in her family, herself. Now she's going to make $1 million on a book, but there's no evidence of anything they said about gang rapes or anything else. So I find all this interesting, folks. Can you not see what's going on here? Can you not see what's going on here? If you can't, I don't know what else to tell you. But I can tell you right now that that voter fraud that's happening is probably going on for a long time. And when Donald Trump said, I think it was in 2016 or 17, when he was either a candidate or when he got into the White House, he said that there was millions of voter frauds across the country. Well, guess what? Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, recently came on, somebody who is a very respected law firm in the Washington, D.C. area, and said that there's possibly 1 million or more fraudulent votes for Hillary Clinton that they're finding out about. This stuff is coming out, folks. And that brings me to my next subject, Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions, in my personal opinion, my humble opinion, was the pitcher for the first 6 or 7 innings. Now, they have a relief pitcher they just brought in. I believe his name is Whitaker. This guy is no nonsense. He's not hooked up to anybody. Very patriotic gentleman from everything I can research. And I think Jeff Sessions was in place for a period of time to get through the midterms. And now he's stepping out and the relief pitcher is coming in. And the relief pitcher is a lights out closer from everything I can tell. So I would expect some things to happen under this new AG Whitaker. And he can be an AG for up to about 210 days legally before they have to hire somebody or vote for somebody or vote him in or whatever. He can be acting AG. What he does right now when he comes in is he actually oversees Mueller and he bumps out Rod Rosenstein or whatever his name is. I think it's very well played for those folks that are upset, that thought maybe Sessions, even myself, thought that Sessions behind the scenes was being the silent assassin, and he was doing quite a bit of stuff. People don't realize he was. But they were expecting him to be the one to come forward, and all of a sudden he steps out, and we have this gentleman come in. I look at it like a pitching change. A pitching change. That one pitcher carried us through 6 or 7 innings of the game. He got us through where the score is evened out. We're actually getting ahead, and now the closer is going to come in. That's what I believe is going on. So as far as all of this stuff going on, as chaotic as it seems, you need to speak out as Christians and conservatives in your area. If you're from one of the areas where it looks like some kind of voter fraud went unchecked or is going on in your area, please don't just sit back and say, oh, well, it is what it is. This happens all the time. Oh, well, don't do it. Don't give up the fight. What I'm telling you right now is we're in the process of coming to that last 2 or 3 innings in the game, that last quarter of the game, that last 15 minutes, that last 60 yards just to get to cross the finish line. You understand what I'm telling you? That's why I'm putting this out here. There's too much to cover right now, and there's too much up in the air right now to guess at certain things. I'm telling you my personal opinion. The California wildfires, the California shootings did 2 things. Number one, the California wildfire actually falls under one of the plans of the Rothschilds where they wanted to actually burn that area out, certain areas. They want to move people out. It's part of an agenda, Agenda 21 through the UN and then the Rothschilds and the Illuminati families. So that's not unusual. And it also is a distraction to the midterms. So is the California shooting, the horrific shooting. It's a distraction to what's going on with these midterms because there's voter fraud, folks. There is voter fraud. Do not give up hope. Please, I'm telling you right now. The thing with Jeff Sessions, I know everybody's kind of like, well, what about? What happened here? It's probably exactly the way it was supposed to happen, and it's probably a really good thing that we're going to see everything open up, like the Pfizer I've been telling you about, the reports, the IG report. Hopefully they're going to get to a point where they can open up Anthony Weiner's laptop and take a look at some of those emails from the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation and how dirty they are. And as far as the pipe bomber goes, it's just how funny how he came on the radar and for 3 or 4 days he just ate up the news cycle and now everything's completely gone. It was fully investigated, swept under the rug in about 72 hours. It's incredible. Never seen anything like it. You only see that kind of stuff when they catch the guy right away and they brush it all under the rug of history when it's somebody who's a patsy. And this goes all the way back to Oswald with JFK, folks. So I want to keep all this in prayer. And biblically, I want you to realize there's a push for a one world government, one world movement. It's in the end times. It's in Revelation. Any pastor worth his salt will tell you, yes, that is Satan's goal, because Satan can only be in one place at one time. He needs to get everybody under the same umbrella. One world order, one world government. So when we have somebody standing up for nationalism, which is a good thing, and kind of saying, yeah, we'll do business with you, but we stand on our own. We're a nation upon ourselves, but we will do business with everybody, but we're going to do it fair where we also come out ahead. That screws up the globalist movement, the one world order. This is what's going on, folks. I can go a lot deeper into it. I can tell you right now, there was the first attempt done in the late 30s and the early 40s with a gentleman named Adolf Hitler that was controlled and manipulated by these wealthy families that were doing the same thing. They were trying to march forward with some kind of one world dominance. Now, all the lessons they learned from that and all the things that they stole from that era, they brought it into through our CIA and folks like that, and brought it into this new world order we have going on today. And they've infiltrated the school systems, they've infiltrated the media. I've gone over all these principles. Go back on and take a look at what I've said about the Federal Reserve, the CIA, and take a look at all of those things I've said, the other political commentaries I've said, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. If you can't, this is not normal, this is not natural for every 3 weeks to have a major crisis like this going on, and an attack on a White House, and an attack on certain things in our country. This is not normal. A lot of this is planned. If there's 5 attacks or 5 bad things that happen, I can guarantee you 3 of them were done by covert operators on purpose. There was patsies set in place, if you know what I mean. And the other 2 may have been natural. Things do happen occasionally. But you understand what I'm saying, folks. If you do not think we are facing some times right now of volatility and that biblical prophecy will not be fulfilled, you're fooling yourself. If you don't think our fight is against a spiritual warfare, you don't realize really what's going on. So I just wanted to get it out there, folks, my own personal opinions, and I don't want people to quit. This is one of those videos, don't give up the hope. Trust me when I tell you there are things going on behind the scenes, and things are going to be revealed, and you're going to have to be ready to accept those who wouldn't accept it and bring them in and explain it to them and nurture them and say, this is what's been going on, and open up your eyes. I suggest you go on my homepage where I put my latest angel message on there and take a look at the SGT report. I follow that page. I find them to be pretty accurate, along with, like I said, Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch is an excellent person to follow as well. There's a couple of others. They're on my homepage. Get plugged in. Get ready to be able to explain what is coming. And let's keep everybody in prayer. The families connected to that shooting in California, and the families that are being burned out of their areas. There's an agenda behind this, folks, and it's evil. Every head is bowed, every eye is closed. Father, we thank you for this time we came forward just to speak politically what's going on, and taking a look from a Christian conservative standpoint that we know we have to stand strong. Now is the time to stand strong. Now is the time to speak to our local leaders, and now is the time not to be quiet. Now is not the time to hide. Now is the time to stand strong, Father. Stand strong against the lies that are coming forward. Through your Son's precious name, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.